The snow rests pale on the naked metal of the shacks around me. The pastel paint stripped away in ugly patches. The rusted iron underneath leers orangish red at my intrusion, like 1,000 fiery eyes set in the suffocating whiteness that is all around me. There is no one here in this deserted little village, this island in an endless sea of ice and capricious cold. There is nothing else for miles, it seems. I am all alone here. All I can do is wait for the ceaseless wind to dismantle me, to chip away at me until the red rust underneath my painted facade is all exposed and I become as silent as the town around me. I press myself up against the side of a shack to get out of the wind, whose shrieks and murmurs fade ever so slightly as I hide. I slowly ease myself onto the porcelain white ground and draw my knees to my chest to protect the waning heat in my core from the lashes of the cold. No louder than a whisper. I'm sure I've imagined it. My name called from across the village, sounding as if it was shouted, but the wind rushing through the squat houses almost stole it away before it reached me. I stumbled to my feet, heaving my body upwards and craning my head towards the voice. I take a few steps towards it. The ice and snow force deliberate and careful steps, taunting me who has no energy for such things. I walk onward, and even as I approach, I feel the wind rushing by my face, taking with it bits of warmth, chips of paint. I reach the farthest flung house. There is no one here. Everything is silent and still, besides the shuddering of my shoulders as the cold lifts the warmth from them in sheets. The wind strips the paint from everything. I am raw, red, rusty. The orangish red eyes grow wider, amazed that I persist in moving amongst them. Again the voice calls, no louder than before. I might have missed it in the dim shrieks and murmurs. This time, though, the voice comes from behind me, on the other side of the village, back where I was. My eyes water as the wind tries to pry them out. I begin trudging again towards the voice. Perhaps we passed each other. Perhaps whoever's out there is pursuing me just as I pursue them, and as the wind pursues us both. I march in loose, fumbling step towards the voice, back through the town, back through all the red eyes. I fail once or twice, and it feels so good to rest that I might just fall asleep there. But I rise each time. The voice draws me onward. I reach the other end of the village, looking out into the stormy sea of ice on all sides of this little island of paint and bleary red eyes. There is no one here but me. Daniel! The voice calls once again, with a muffled insistence, no closer than ever. Somehow now, from the opposite side of all the decrepit shacks, it beckons me. I turn to it, but I can't face those eyes again. And I'm so very cold. It feels so good to rest. They hanged John Farrell in the dawn, amid the marketplace. At dusk came Adam Brand to him, and spat upon his face. "Ho, neighbours all," spoke Adam Brand, "see ye John Farrell's fate? 'Tis proven here a hempen noose is stronger than man's hate. For heard ye not John Farrell's vow to be avenged upon me, come life or death? See how he hangs high on the gallows tree." Yet never a word the people spoke, in fear and wild surprise, for the grisly corpse raised up its head and stared with sightless eyes, and with strange motions slow and stiff pointed at Adam Brand, and clambered down the gibbet tree, the noose within its hand. With gaping mouth stood Adam Brand, like a statue carved of stone, till the dead man laid a clammy hand hard on his shoulder bone. Then Adam shrieked like a soul in hell, the red blood left his face, and he reeled away in a drunken run through the screaming marketplace. And close behind the dead man came, with a face like a mummy's mask, and the dead joints creaked and the stiff legs croaked with their unwanted task. Men fled before the flying twain, or shrank with bated breath, and they saw on the face of Adam Brand the seal set there by death. He reeled on buckling legs that failed, yet on and on he fled. So through the shuddering marketplace, the dying fled the dead. At the riverside fell Adam Brand, with a scream that rent the skies. Across him fell John Farrell's corpse, nor ever the twain did rise. There was no wound on Adam Brand, but his brow was cold and damp, for the fear of death had blown out his life, as a witch blows out a lamp. His lips were writhed in a horrid grin, like a fiend's on Satan's coals, and the men that looked on his face that day, his stare still haunts their souls. Such was the fate of Adam Brand, a strange, unearthly fate, for stronger than death or hempen noose are the fires of a dead man's hate. I felt a funeral in my brain, and mourners to and fro kept treading, till it seemed that sense was breaking through. And when they all were seated, a service, like a drum, kept beating, till I thought my mind was going numb. And then I heard them lift a box and creak across my soul with those same boots of lead again. Then space began to toll, as all the heavens were a bell, and being but an ear, and I and silence and some strange race, wrecked, solitary, here. And then a plank in reason broke, and I dropped down, and hit a world at every plunge, and finished knowing then. I shut my eyes, and all the world drops dead. I lift my lids, and all is born again. I think I made you up inside my head. The stars go waltzing out in blue and red, and arbitrary blackness gallops in. I shut my eyes, and all the world drops dead. I dreamed that you bewitched me into bed, and sung me moonstruck, kissed me quite insane. Think I made you up inside my head. God topples from the sky, hell's fires fade, exit seraphim and Satan's men. I shut my eyes, and all the world drops dead. I fancied you return the way you said, but I grew old, and I forget your name. I think I made you up inside my head. I should have loved a thunderbird instead. At least when spring comes, they roar back again. I shut my eyes and all the world drops dead. I think I made you up inside my head. G'day guys, I hope you enjoyed that story and thank you so much for giving it a listen. Remember, if you want some more scary stories, you can go to the Scary Stories for Late Nights playlist. Dusk Bowl has been a fantastic project to work on, and remember, if you've got any fanfic or fan art or any just questions about the series, feel free to email me at duskbowl.fm@gmail.com. I love every single one of you, and you've made being a microtuber probably one of the best experiences of my life. I want to give special thanks to my patrons, of course, being Lady Nevermore, Skulk Queen, Catherine Gordon, The Curator, and Stephen Stevens. If you see them in the comments, please say g'day. And to all of you, I bid you logs of love and shit shivers.